Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I'm all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I'm your host, Ho-Ho. And if you guys would like to follow along with the madness and view all the articles that I'll be using on the show, you guys can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab at the upper right-hand portion of the screen. And there you'll see my magazine on Flipboard. Wow, that was kind of weird. Which is my go-to hub and one-stop shop for anything, everything, and all things news. All right, so welcome, everybody. Welcome, Spreaker. Welcome. Hello, Mr. Gavin over there in YouTube land. So, hello, everybody. Welcome, Spreaker. Welcome, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook. How y'all's doing today? Mr. Gavin, how you doing today? Good times, good times. It's getting dark, man. Wintertime is right around the corner. I'm looking forward to the cold. I like cold. I really like cold. I mean, I like the snow, but I like cold. I'm a polar bear. I was born in this stuff. It's awesome. All right. Well, guys, let's see. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Well, not really all kinds of stuff to talk about, but let's put it this way. I listen to a lot of news. I listen to other podcasters. I, watch other shows, primarily new media. I don't go around with, the big media giants. I just don't have anything to do with them. And there's a couple things with how they talk about social media that I got to be honest with you guys. It kind of irritates me. It irks me, in all honesty, because it's false. And as surprising as it is, and I know I can't be the only one that looks at it like this. They're wrong, and it irritates me whenever they say it wrong, because it's like, now, I mean, granted, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this weird. But if I am, there's a lot of things that kind of needs to change instead of people just redefining what things mean, kind of like what the left has done with the word assault rifle. They redefined it to make it mean something else whenever, in all honesty, it means what it means. And that's all that it means. You can't change it. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and kind of just dive right into it. Well, what say you? Let's dive right in this. Gavin says he's doing good. That's awesome, sir. All right. Excuse me. I got a little bit of the sniffles. I don't know why I got the sniffles. I just got sniffles. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about freedoms as they are in public versus private. So, let's go ahead and kind of talk about that a little bit, So, you have in the private sector, you have the freedom of speech, the freedom of all this other kind of stuff, But you also have the freedom from. That's why you have them signs that people put on their doors, no soliciting. That's freedom of speech. But I have the right from that when I'm in my own personal space. It's my dwelling, it's my home, it's my business, it's mine. I have that right, I reserve that right to refuse service to anybody. That used to mean something. There was a time that meant something, So it really irritates the holy crap out of me whenever you have certain businesses like bars, privately owned bars, where the federal government steps in and dictates to these bars that, hey, you can't allow smoking anymore. I have a big problem with that. Not because I'm a fan of smoking, not because I really want to be in the same environment. I'm a big boy. I put my big boy pants on today. I can walk away if I'm in an environment that I don't like. That's my freedom. I can leave. I can go somewhere else. And if enough people follow me, then that business that I am leaving has a couple options. It's either shut the doors and declare bankruptcy, which is an option, or they can change their policy, not allow it. Unfortunately, and might I add in here that that's how free market capitalism works. Enough people don't like something, that's how change happens. It may take a little bit of time, but it happens. Nonetheless, it happens. True to form, every single time, it will happen. Okay? The problem is, there are people out there that feel so heavily in their beliefs that they think that everybody else should believe the same thing that they believe. They're not willing to wait for free market capitalism to work. And so they create laws saying, thou shalt not smoke here, dictating what a business can and cannot do in its own establishment. I think there's something inherently wrong about that. I feel as though that's something that is unconstitutional. It's not one of the government's enumerated powers to say what a private business can and cannot do. Now, if it's a publicly owned business, or we'll not go there just yet. If it's a public space, a public building, post office, courthouse, whatever, okay, fine. If you want to make those type of rules for a public type of a building, thing like that, well, then fine. Go ahead. More power to you. Okay? Okay. So there's a problem I have with that. All right, so let's take this a little bit more. Let's go a little bit more into the direction where I was intending on going in the first place, kind of, sort of. But we had to grease the wheels a little bit. All right, let's get into this. You have the freedom of this is public sector now. Okay, we've moved beyond, for the time being, moved out of the private arena, and now we're heading into public arena on the public square. All right, the town I live in, public square, you have on that public square, that public space, you have the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, to hand out flyers if you want to. You can stand on your soapbox. You can petition the government for redress of grievances, for things that you think they're doing wrong. You can stand there and participate in a protest. You have that freedom. This is the public square. Of course you have this freedom. You shouldn't have to buy a permit to do this, to exercise your freedom. That's complete and utter bravo, Sierra. That's complete and utter bravo, Sierra. I'm trying to keep it clean. Because only in a overbearing dictatorship type of a government do you have to buy from government the freedoms that is already yours to have. Why do you have to buy them back from government? I don't get it. Now, in the public sector as well, you have the freedom of, but that doesn't grant you the freedom from. Let's just make that clear. You don't have the freedom from speech. You don't have the freedom from religion. You don't have the freedom from protests. You know, there's a video that's out on Facebook right now. You know, you got a bunch of people that are protesting on a public street. Granted, this is public space, and I acknowledge that. However, there's laws currently on the books, you know, like you're not supposed to impede traffic. Therefore, you know, that this isn't that type of public space. You know, when you're on the boulevard, whenever you're not impeding somebody else's right, whenever you're not violating somebody else's freedom to drive on that public roadway, then, well, you're in the wrong. I mean, granted, the guy shouldn't have damaged the property, you know, the one that went up there and so fed up with it that he took the sign down and damaged somebody else's property. Two wrongs don't make a right. The only problem is you really can't rely on the police to really step in and do anything about it because, they're not doing anything harm. You know, you can get out of the way. You know, well, that's where permits come into place if you're going to do something on the public street, in which case, again, that's something a little different. Okay? Public, roadway made for traffic. You got to block that traffic, got to do detours, and I'm okay with that. I accept that, you know. But let's say you're in front of the courthouse on the patch of grass there. You're not impeding roadway. You're not doing anything of that nature. Therefore, you have all these freedoms. And again, you do not have the freedom from any of these things. But what you do have is the freedom, if you don't like what they're saying, leave. That's your freedom too. Get out of there. If you don't like it, leave. Go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. The Chili Fest, several years back. 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I don't remember. Bunch of illegal immigrants marked up on, and Chili Fest is around the courthouse, you know, the square here in town. And there was several illegal aliens that were protesting their rights. It's like, honey, what rights do you have? You have no rights here. Are you a citizen? No. Then you have no rights. You have no constitutional rights. See, the constitutional rights are preserved for United States citizens. I heard a number that was pretty appalling. Thousands and thousands of people that had to turn down jury duty because they were illegal aliens. But yet they had their driver's license and they were registered to vote. But yet, the Democrats want to yell at Trump about Ukrainian interference in the 2020 election, but yet, you guys wanted to give them, isn't that interference from a foreign government in a local government or in a local election? Isn't that wrong? Isn't that what you're trying to, anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. Moving on a little bit. Let's move this into the whole Facebook thing, all right? And this is where, again, a lot of people have talked about this. I've heard quite a few people talk about this, okay? And one of the things that they always say is, well, this is Facebook. It's a private business. They have the right to shadow ban, to block, to purge, to do whatever they want to on their platform. It's theirs. No, I completely disagree. But here's why. And we're going to get into that right on the other side of a break. This is The Ho-Ho Show. Don't run away. welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. All right, guys, so as I was discussing before, all right, why is it wrong for companies like Facebook, companies like YouTube? You know, why is it wrong for them to shadow ban, to block, to purge, to do all this negative stuff that they've been accused of for quite some many years? Okay, why is it wrong? Here's the difference between, say, a company like Facebook, Walmart, Google, the list goes on, and a company like a local bar in your hometown. You know, a small mall paw restaurant in your hometown like Bill's Toasty, an amazing place to eat supper, a horseshoe. Oh, that's what I had for supper today, actually, a horseshoe. Not from Bill's Toasty, though. Second best, Angelo's. Good place. Not a sponsor. Good food. Anyway, what separates these two companies? You see, crap. I forgot to mute my phone. I apologize about that. Let me mute this puppy. I just did. Oh. We're now muted. All right. So what separates these two companies? Well, one is privately owned. The other is bought and sold on Wall Street. It's what's classified and considered a publicly owned business. All right. So let me take you down a linear line of thought, okay, of why this is wrong and what separates the two and really why you kind of need to pay attention to this, okay? First of all, Mr. Marty over there in Facebook land and Chris over there in Facebook land. Love you, ho-ho. You're my favorite snack cake. Well, thank you. Marty, how you doing? I'm assuming that you're back today. That's awesome. I'm hoping you're back anyway. It's been a few days. So welcome. So let's go down a little. Let's play a mental exercise, guys. Let's change this, okay? So you're in your hometown, you know, your county, your state, okay, your country, obviously. You know, you're there. You're on the public square and you decide to protest. Okay, this is where you live. You pay taxes. That little block of land that you're standing in, well, you own it. You pay taxes for that. This is public space. Okay, you are part ownership of that. Is this legal? Absolutely. Should it stay legal? Again, absolutely. Let's move this outside of state, outside your country, outside your town, outside your county. Okay, let's go outside your state and let's move not to Washington, D.C. Let's go to a different place because that's on the federal level, and of course, the same rules apply. It's yours. You own it. It's yours. So now we're moving outside the state. Let's go to St. Louis. I don't live in St. Louis. I used to did, but I don't know more. Let's move there. Do you still have the same rights even though you're not paying Missouri taxes, even though you're not paying St. Louis County, whatever that is, taxes, even though you're not paying St. Louis City taxes? Do you still have the same right to protest? Do you still have the same right of freedom of speech and freedom of press, freedom to peaceably assemble, petition your government grievances? Do you still have those? My answer would be, again, absolutely. Even though it's not your state, city, or town, you still have that. Why? Because the availability to own a piece of the pie still belongs to you. That's important. Let me say that again. The availability for you to own a piece of the pie still belongs to you. You can move there if you so chose. You not is your choice. But you still have the availability to own a piece of that public pie. Facebook. Is this a private company? No. It's something that is publicly traded on Wall Street. The availability to own a piece of Facebook's public pie is yours. That means that share that you own is a part of the company, and therefore, you have all your rights described in here. Absolutely, guys. Now, let me move on. Let me kind of change the pace a little bit. Let me kind of redirect your thought processes. Are you with me so far? Are you guys picking up what I'm throwing down? Marty says, "Yep, at home." That's awesome. Glad to hear it, sir. Glad to hear that you're home. Now let's go a little bit different, okay? Now, here is why I say what they're doing is a little bit on the side of Bravo Sierra. Now, if you are talking about a company like CNN, okay, whenever you're talking about a broadcast company, CNN, CBS, TBS, whatever, Nickelodeon, just name your favorite broadcast station, okay? These guys, their job is to direct the flow of traffic, choose what they are and are not going to talk about. You kind of expect a certain amount of bias in that. You expect that. And you know what? That's fine because you're coming at this from a space of, let's say, honesty, as in, hey, we're being biased, we are choosing the programming, okay? Maybe not a place of honesty so much whenever you're talking about a news broadcast, because let's face it, all these guys are biased, even though they try to throw out there that we're not biased. And just so you guys know, I am biased as well. All right. I believe in this. I'm biased to this. Moving on. Anyway, you expect a certain amount of biasness whenever you are watching broadcast TV. They're pretty open about that. We choose the shows and the broadcasting you are going to consume. Okay. Is Facebook that? No. Facebook is not that. In fact, Facebook's business model is more along the lines of this: a cell phone. They claim status as a communications type of company. Okay. Now, first, before we move on too much, let's talk about why that's important, okay? AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon Wireless, these guys, all they do, okay, is they connect caller to caller, text message to, text message from. They just connect people. They connect people. That's it. They're not responsible for the language. They're not responsible for the message. They're not responsible for the phone call. They're not responsible for the words in the text message. They're not responsible for any of that. Their business, communications, they connect people to people. That is it. Okay? If two terrorists are talking about blowing up something, it's none of their concern. Why? Because that's not the business that they're in. Communications business. CNN, on the other hand, TBS, CBS, Nickelodeon, they are a little different because they are responsible for that, because they are gatekeepers. All Facebook wants to do is censor what we can and cannot say online. And you're absolutely right, Chris. That's a lot of what a lot of what they do. Marty says, I'm picking it up. Yeah, that's awesome. So, but that's what the difference is, okay? Now here's the thing, okay, guys? I want you guys to understand something too, okay? Whenever you're talking the difference, why is that important, okay? That's where I'm going into. Why is that distinction important? The distinction is whenever you are this versus TBS, when you are a communications company versus a broadcast network, you're playing by two different sets of rules, two different sets of guidelines. One is a football, full contact sport, a little bit more of a no holds barred. We'll call it UFC. Yeah, UFC. Kind of more, a little bit more of a no holds barred. The people that go into the ring, people that choose to go into the ring, and they know the stakes. They know what's going on. Chris, you can attest to this. The problem is broadcasting, broadcast network, they're playing by a different set of rules. It's a different game. It's baseball, boxing, whatever. There's still some punches being thrown, but it's not quite as full contact as the other. It's a different set of rules. When you're talking baseball, you have your ball, you have your uniform, you have your field. It's important to have that. When you're talking baseball, it's a different ball, a different uniform, a different field. They look totally different. Communications, network TV, playing by a different set of rules, different set of guidelines, a different size ball that they're playing with. Never mind. But these are very important, you see, because that's what, Facebook is doing, YouTube and the like, okay, is what they are doing is they are claiming to be one thing, having a particular set of rules, but yet they are operating in a completely different set of rules that is completely arbitrary, okay? I'm a fan of Steven Crowder. Louder with Crowder, I'm sure a lot of you guys have listened to his stuff, do listen to his stuff, have heard of the man. The man is hilarious and he's funny, okay? He got his entire channel demonetized. Why? Was it because he broke their rules? Is it because he said something that he shouldn't have said? Is it because he didn't say something that he should have said? What is it that he did wrong? Well, he asked him, and you know what YouTube told him? Absolutely nothing. You didn't do anything. You did not violate our terms. You did not violate our, little arbitrary guidelines that we have. You didn't do any of that. Crowder's like, well, why did I get demonetized? We don't like you making money off of this stuff. We don't like you having this much influence. That's what it amounts to. They had no other reason than that. That's what it amounts to. Bravo Sierra. They're claiming to be one thing, which one set of FCC regulated guidelines, but they are operating completely different with a different set of rules that legally they can't do. Broadcast is more like soccer. It could be. Because you know why I hate soccer? I don't like soccer. It can be fun. It can be very entertaining. It can be very interesting. But here's my problem with it. You sit down and you watch a game for 2 hours. I want there to be a distinct winner or a loser. You can watch football for 2 days. You can watch baseball for hours upon hours. Eventually, there will be a winner. Not in soccer. I think that's horse crap. It's un-American. We like winners and losers. We don't like draws. It's horse crap. Marty says, oh, wow. Oh, wow about what? You got to be more specific, man. My mind goes and it just runs and stuff. You got to be more specific. What you talking about, brother? Anyway, that is why it is important, okay? You got a pear and you got an apple. I don't care which one it is. I might be ready for one versus ready for another. I like fruit. Fruit's awesome. But the problem is don't hand me an apple and claim that it's a pear. I know the difference. I know that there is a difference, and I know what that difference is. And that's the problem with what these guys are making. They're claiming to be an apple. They're claiming to play baseball, but they're not playing baseball. They didn't hand me an apple. They handed me a pear. They're playing football. There's something wrong with this. Legally, there's a difference. FCC rules and regulations, FCC guidelines on the two, there is a difference. Okay? That's why they were getting drilled by Congress a while back. Do you guys remember all that? Do you guys remember why? The line of questioning that they were being, that they were asking, and that, oops. Oh, no. The line of questioning that they were being asked and the answers that this guy was giving. Sorry, do you guys remember those? He was trying to say that, no, we don't have gatekeepers. No, we don't do that. We don't participate in that kind of stuff. Why? Because he knew that the moment he admitted to, well, maybe it is kind of company policy that we do this kind of crap, he knew that he would be acknowledging and admitting that they were breaking the rules of what they are supposed to be doing and how they are supposed to be operating, because they are not a broadcast network. They are a communications company. Okay? I seen this article not that long ago. Actually, let me rephrase this. I seen this article today. And it's this one right here. Facebook is allowing politicians to lie openly, and it's time to regulate. Whew, that should scare the crap out of you. It's not time to regulate. Guys, what are we talking about here? We're talking about freedom. Freedom of speech. Should they be lying? No. Is it unethical? Yeah. Do they have the right to do it? Yeah. Politicians lie all the time. We know that they lie. That's why we didn't vote for a politician on the last election. Hello. I don't want more regulation. I want people to own their own information. I want people to acknowledge that, you know what, maybe if I'm going to start spewing off a bunch of crap, that maybe I should take the opportunity, grab the little bitty computer that I have available to me, punch up some things on here and hit search and get the information for myself and own the information that I'm word vomiting out of my mouth. That's what I like people to do. Own some stuff, you know. Don't just spurt it off because Colin Kaepernick says it. Don't just spurt it off because you see it as a bumper sticker on somebody's car. Don't repeat it just because I said it or anybody else that said it that I agree with. Learn it. Research it. Live it. Love it. You know what I'm saying? Are you guys picking up what I'm throwing down? You know? That is why it annoys the crap out of me whenever people go, oh, well, it's a private company. They have the right to do what they want to. No, guys, they don't. This is a publicly owned business. They don't have the right to silence anybody because they are a communications network, not a broadcasting network, and I own my page because I own stock in Facebook. It's mine. It's not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. I own it. I got it. I gave them money. It's mine. It's not their private to choose what is going to go out. It's my public. Because I have a share in what's going on in the Facebook pie. I like pie. Pie's delicious. Ooh, speaking of pie. Apple pie. Fact check. Go for it, sir. Marty put fact check out there. Come on, man. What are you talking about? You got to give me more details than that, man. So that's why it annoys me whenever people say that, you know. And again, of course, I could be wrong on this. Maybe they did redo some stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Because there was a reason why the line of questioning went the way that it did. There's a reason why they were being asked the questions that they were being asked in that congressional hearing that this guy, Zuckerberg, participated in, that he showed up for. What do you... Marty? You're confusing the holy snotgrass out of me, sir. But yeah, you know, it's just, you know, and I want to take this another step too, because there's something else too that just annoys the crap out of me. Okay, we got 10 amendments, you know, the Bill of Rights, you know, we got this, and I hear other people say, you know, the whole, you know, with weapons, you know, the Second Amendment, you know, thou shalt not. Never mind, that's commandments, not amendments. Sorry, I got the wrong word in there. People should fact check before saying stuff. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Marty. People should totally fact check stuff. I mean, that's one of them things that just, again, Marty, thank you. Another thing that absolutely annoys the holy crap out of me, because you have, especially whenever you're talking about the ignorance and the I'll just let it slide, whenever you're talking about anybody from the big major media networks, you know, they let all these Democratic people just spew whatever they want to without fact checking anything that they say, and then they take it as gold. Can't type. Been up since 1:30. Oh, with the Z. Sorry, yeah, that's funny. But yeah, dude. I mean, that's one of them things that totally annoys the crap out of me. That, you know, that people just spew all this nonsense, but they just accept it. And then they repeat it, and they spew it, and they regurgitate it. They feed it to their little birdies like the mama bird just, puking it right out at them. And all these idiots that have a personal computer right in the palm of their hand just eat it up like it's hors d'oeuvres or something. It's like, no, you just got puked on. You had a monkey just throw some poo at you, and you accepted it. You didn't fact check it. What is wrong with you? A lot. I don't get it. It's annoying to me, because here we live in the information age. We have the ability to, right, it's like, oh, did you do something? No. Where were you on such and such a day? I was here doing this. Oh, they got video. No, you weren't there. You lied to me. Oh, crap. I said this on this day. Yada, yada, blah, blah. No, you didn't say that. You said this. Here's the video. Wow, holy crap, that YouTube sucks. If you use it, in a matter of speaking, the way it was intended to be used, that'd be amazing, don't you think? I think it would be awesome. But that is why, getting back on track a little bit, that's why this whole thing kind of annoys the crap out of me. You hear people say that, oh, YouTube, it's their company, they can do whatever they want. No, they can't. It's my company too. Okay? Facebook, no, it's mine. Why is it mine? Do I actually own stocks in Facebook? No, I do not. But like the point I was making earlier, outside your city, outside your state, the availability to own a piece of the public pie is still there. Therefore, if you're going to call yourself an apple, I'm eating an apple. It's kind of like this, guys. It's like going to a restaurant. You go to a place called the China Buffet during peak hours, lunchtime peak hours, that they are open lunchtime during peak hours. They have a sign on their door that says, "We are open, China Buffet, lunchtime peak hours. Come sit down and stuff your face." You walk in. They hand you a menu. Not only is there no buffet, there's no buffet tables. There's not a buffet anywhere. What do you mean, dude? It's China Buffet. How could you not have a buffet here? Is it just not open? Oh, no. We don't have a buffet. But you're called China Buffet. What do you mean you have no buffet? Too many fat guys walk in here. You've been here for an hour. You go. No. Just because you don't like how people is taking advantage of you, just because you don't like how much somebody else eats in your establishment, does not give you the right to remove the buffet and still keep your name China Buffet and even advertise that you got a buffet inside. Then when I get in the door and sit down, I'm kind of locked in there because you hand me a drink right whenever I walk in. Holy crap, that's amazing service. You're getting an extra tip. Oh, we have no buffet. What you talking about, Willis? Sam! Holy crap, how you doing, sir? Most people are lazy and or apathetic and want to grab onto whatever fits into their current thought process. You're absolutely right, sir. You are absolutely right on that. A lot of people, that's what they do. Because to them, it's not about facts. It's not about anything. It's about their agenda. It's about their feelings. It's about whatever. I mean, you've heard people say it before. You've heard people say, politicians say that facts don't matter. It's feeling. It's my feelings that are important. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Facts trump feelings. No pun intended. Maybe the pun is intended. Is the pun intended? Yeah, we'll call it intended. It's annoying, people. It's annoying. Absolutely is. So, the sad thing is, because I like to throw these action statements in there, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The sad thing is that, holy crap, Facebook is flipping huge. So until the next big thing comes along, there's really not a whole heck of a lot we can do. You know, YouTube is freaking huge. There's not a whole heck of a lot we can do until the next big thing comes along. You know, hold them accountable. Okay, sure. They've kind of tried. It didn't really go too far. You know, so what are you going to do? And yeah, you're watching this on somebody that, you know, on Facebook, a company that I'm just, you know, like them, you know, because they're, I don't like them, you know, but I'm using them. Why? Because they're free. And hey, everybody's on here. If you're going to get the message out, this is where you got to be. You got to be in the place, man. Doesn't do me any good to try to broadcast in Timbuktu if nobody lives in Timbuktu. Somebody live in Timbuktu? Maybe. Feelings aren't an argument against facts. Absolutely right, sir. Feelings are not an argument against facts. You know, it's like people putting down, you know, President Trump and people talking bad about him and people wanting to impeach him for what? Because he talks a bunch of crap? Okay, so he talks a bunch of crap. Let me ask you a question. What does President Trump's Facebook feed, what does, stop, rewind, play, what does President Trump's Twitter feed have anything to do with you? Does President Trump's Twitter feed affect your life? No. So what are you complaining about? Something that doesn't affect you whatsoever? So the question is, what has he done today? You know, we have the highest labor participation in 50 years. We have some of the highest labor participation in the minorities since ever before in history. I'm sorry, that's the lowest labor participation, or the lowest unemployment number in 50 years. The highest minority employment participation in ever in history. The more growth, you know, a 4 point whatever GDP boost, you know, bunch of numbers. Sometimes I look at way too many numbers, you know, but you look at what the man has done. You look at how his policies have actually been benefiting things. You know, China. Holy crap, guys. China's actually coming to the table now, and they've gone into phase 1 in the trade deal with China. That's huge. That has never happened before. Who did that? President Trump. In modern history, every single president has campaigned on, we're going to move the Israeli embassy into Jerusalem and take it out of Tel Aviv. Who did it? Who followed through with that campaign promise? It was President Trump. Gold star, you win. Good. Every single president in modern history has campaigned on that. Former President Ronald Reagan, just the same. Both Bushes. Obama campaigned on that as well. President Trump did it. And you're going to say that he's done a crappy job, even though, pretty much everything that he could have done, he did. And I'm not kissing his butt. Don't get me wrong. There's been some stuff he screwed up on. There's been some things that I've disagreed with him. I've been animate about that too. Yeah, I can speak. You know, I didn't vote for him in 2016. Not at all. I didn't. You know, definitely hugs. I'm sorry, definitely hugs. Definitely huge for agriculture. Oh yeah. Yeah, Sam, you got that right. You know, he's done, I don't even remember the dollar amount. It was a pretty big dollar amount. You know, President Trump with this ag deal may have actually, look, have you guys looked at our fields? You know, they're in the fields now, you know, they're in the fields, they're harvesting. Okay. I dread what the stock market is going to do in the next few months with, you know, price of feed. Okay. The price of meat's going to skyrocket. It's going to plummet, you know, because the price of feed is going to skyrocket. People ain't going to be able to feed their chickens, their cows. Even if the cows come home, they ain't going to be able to feed them. It's a country song reference in there, guys. I'm Englishing well, ho ho. Oh yeah, my English sucks sometimes. They're not happy unless they are trying to throw someone under the bus. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not happy. But yeah, with this whole trade deal, I mean, guys, like I was saying, man, I dread what the stock market's going to look like with our agriculture, with our soybeans, with our corn, price of feed, price of meat. I'm really dreading what that's going to look like coming up. I really, really am, because this, last season, with the amount of floodwaters we've had, it's been kind of bad on our fields, and there was section of fields that never got planted. Okay, never got planted. So I'm kind of dreading what's going to happen. But with this, China trade deal with agriculture, like what Sam was talking about, this is really going to help us out. This is going to boost it to the point to where we may not really feel that big of an impact because of this trade deal that President Trump helped orchestrate. How huge is that? No sitting president in history has been able to accomplish as much than President Trump has in his first 3 years, with every single person in Congress basically wanting to do nothing more than boot him out. What have they done in the past 3 years? Try to impeach him, investigate him, trying to get rid of him, trying to kick him out of the office. 18 minutes after President Trump swore in, let's impeach him. It's like, really? You're going to try to just throw democracy out the window because you don't like the sitting president 18 minutes after he got inaugurated? Really? That's kind of sad, don't you think? Actually, what saddens me is Hillary still ain't in jail. Kind of thought that would have happened by now. That'd be awesome. Well, guys, 46 minutes into this, and that's really all I had on this. I wanted to talk about that, because that really annoyed the crap out of me. I wanted to talk about it for a while. I wanted to, kind of get you guys' input on that and see what you guys felt about it. So, yeah. Hey, I also got some other news. I got some, some places, of course, on live streaming. I am. Let me bring up my restream again. Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Mixer. On the live part with the audio, I am in Spreaker, of course, Spreaker.com. And as a podcast, also, I am on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, CastBox, soon to be on Deezer. It's pending. And I'm also on Podcast Addict. I don't even know what Podcast Addict is. And I do see, like, on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, I do see y'all's listening out there, and I do appreciate that. That is awesome. Thank you. Keep that up. So, yeah, anywhere you are, I'm trying to get, the podcast over there. I don't know, Mr. Marty, you listen on Pandora quite a bit, and I don't know how I'm going to get on Pandora. I really have no idea. Lily put on here, over here in YouTube land. And welcome, Lily. Good to see you. What are you doing for Halloween? Actually, I'm planning. I got something. I'm just eagerly awaiting its arrival. I don't know. I doubt it's actually going to get here because it's, the time of year that I ordered it really isn't a good time of year to be ordering certain Halloween paraphernalia stuff. So I don't know. But that's not what you're asking. I know what you're asking. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't really made plans on that. Although I do know what I'm listening to. Because Mr. Alex Exum, good segue, by the way. Mr. Alex Exum of the Exum Experience, also the host to Live Talk, which you can check out that website, livetalk.live. He does a show on Halloween, a Halloween special. Last year, he did interview with the Sasquatch, and I actually have some legitimate Sasquatch hair sitting in my living room right now, a little binker, little tube thingy, test tube thing. Yeah, I got that genuine Sasquatch hair. Oh yeah, and this year he's doing something even more amazing.
In the year 2018, This station produced one of the most terrifying tales ever broadcast on radio. Bigfoot Speaks, Interview with the Sasquatch. This year we bring you an even more terrifying tale to send chills down your spine. Scary. One night only, October the 31st. Be there if you dare.
Oh yeah, guys, this year's Scary Mary. And I tell you what, man, this year is going to be awesome. What he's got planned is just going to be absolutely amazing. A must-hear on headphones. Again, that is this Halloween, October 31st. Now, last year he kept the show on his normal time that he broadcasts, which is 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Pacific. No, I'm sorry. 7, crap, stop, rewind, play. 7 o'clock Pacific, that is 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll get it. I got this. We're gold, Pony Boy. That's what he did last year, the main show, you know, the feature presentation. However, last year he did like a 5-hour broadcast where he did, he did stories and different readings and whatnot throughout the day. It wasn't his main thing that he did. It was like the pre-show leading up to the main show, and yeah. So I don't know if he's doing that this year. I'm really not sure at all. Just got to be honest with you. I really have no idea. My assumption is he is. In fact, I think he plans on rebroadcasting the interview with the Sasquatch, which amazing. I definitely recommend checking that out. Again, his website is livetalk.live. Definitely check that out. You guys will enjoy it. I guarantee it. It was an awesome time. All right. And welcome, Daryl, over there in Facebook land. Good to see you, sir. All right, guys. Well, I got to be honest. That's really all I got. That's it. I'm so excited.
Alex. Excellent.
Just had to play that again. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all stopping by. I participate English, man. I appreciate the participation. See, now you guys know why I jumbled that all up. That was holy crap. Dude, guys. No, I ain't going to tell you that yet. I'll tell you that maybe next week. Yeah, I'll tell you that next week. Appreciate you all stopping by. Appreciate the comments and whatnot. If you guys have any questions on anything, feel free to either put it in the comments field, or you guys can definitely email me anything, hoho@thehohoshow.com. If you guys are over on YouTube and Facebook and anywhere else, just go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, do all that good stuff, notification bell, all that stuff. I don't really do that a lot, the whole, do this, but so do that. Visit the website, too. That's always awesome. Anyway, you also have a good night. Sleep tight, and if them bed bugs bite, why then, by golly, bite them back. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. And for all things Weaponized Sloth Productions related, you can head on over to WSPFM.com. Until next time.